Hi everyone, it's Anne. Let me get the camera on here. There we go. Hi everyone, so welcome. I'm going to do a little video on the Color Manager. Some people are just kind of getting used to it, and I had to get used to it too, but now that I'm used to it, I really like it. So let me go there and show you that so we don't take up a whole lot of time today. And I'm going to open my software. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a Jeff design. So this is a little butterfly design. And let me close something on the side here. There we go. And if I wanted to change a color in this, sometimes when you select something, you might notice over here or on it selects everything. In that case, you would have to maybe do an ungroup or a right click, ungroup or break apart. Okay. But maybe I want to change this one and the one that's over here. So I could click shift and click the both of them, or I could pick out the ones over here that I want as well. And I can see right down here, this is the color that's chosen. And when I hover, I can see that it's Janome. And I'm going to show you how to change your palettes as well. So it's a fill. So I'm going to come over here to the bucket and I'm going to left click. And then here is the color wheel if you want to use that. But I like the swatches right here. So I would click on the swatches and then I would find a color, maybe this meadow color. And then I could just click right here on the box and it changes that to the meadow color. Now, let's go back in there. I'm going to pick this part down here, and it is this little part right there. And I'm going to go to the bucket again, and I want to show you here, when I click here, these are all the default palettes that I've chosen. And I'm going to show you where those are, how you can get your own list of palettes. And I have quite a few here. I don't really need all these, but let's say I wanted to make that one one of my colors from Marathon. And I knew if I knew a color number, I could put it right here. And let's say I liked, I'm just going to guess, 2055. There we go. So that color right here is 2055. And then I would click here. And there's the change in the color. All right. So you want to select your part. Now this looks like a line on this, but because it's raw data, it comes over as a fill. So you would change it using the bucket over here. Now, let's go up and I'll talk about palettes. On a Mac, I would go to Artistic, Preferences, and I would get this window. And there's my palettes. Now, on a PC, you would go to Tools on the top there and Tool Options, and then you would get this same window. Now, what you can do is you can select which ones you want as your default, and then these are all the ones that are going to be visible. And I have them, I checked a whole bunch all the way down. My last one is the OESD Timeless. Okay, you don't have to have this many, maybe you only have 4, but if you want to move them around in order, so right now I have them in this order, maybe I want to bring this up and put it above Filtech. There we go. I can slide it up. I could bring any of the ones that are down here. If I want to bring this up here, I could bring it up here so it's closer to the top. It doesn't really matter because it will put them all together when you open your palette area. And the same goes for, if you open the Color Manager, now right now these are all Janome colors, except for this one of these. This is my Marathon. So if I open the Color Manager and I chose a different, let's say I'm going to use Glide. And then I get this little wand and I just click on there. And then I'm going to click on Selection. And now all these should have glide numbers, even the one that I changed before. And you can see those all have glide numbers. So with one click, I changed it all to one palette. And I use Janome a lot, or Marathon, so I could go back up here to the top. Let's go to the top. There we go. And Marathon, click on here. That's not really what I want. I think that's what I wanted to do. There we go. And then I'm going to click here. And there are my color changes. They're all Marathon. And of course, now if I want to change something, maybe these wings, I didn't like the marathon color of that. Again, back to the bucket, pick this color here, click on the box, and it's been changed. So there we go. All right, so now let's look at something like this. This here is a space fill, and this one is the vine fill. So they are kept together. If I wanted to change the colors on here, if I came down here, and well, that will change the color. If I right click, I can say edit color, and then I could come in here to my swatches, and maybe I want to make them this light pink, and they all change to the light pink. I didn't have to separate them to objects. Same thing over here is if I wanted to change that color, I could click on this color here, right click on the color, edit color, and I could edit by fill color. So it's only going to change the fill, and then it would open up this, and I could change them to that color, and they're changed automatically. If I wanted individual ones, I would have to use the separate to objects over here. So for me, this is very handy. It's right here, everything's together. I'm not toggling back and forth over here. I can easily do it right from my use color window here. Now, one thing, let's go back. I'll open a new page, and I want to show you, some of you have maybe not have done this before, but when I click and drag, you can see my colors are blue and red. Now, if yours are not those colors, or you would like your fill to be a different color or your outline to be a different color, you would want to right click on one of these. So let's see if I go up here and turn off my tool. And you don't have to have anything selected. I'm going to click on that, left click right there. And here we are. This could be my default color for all my graphic objects, and I'm going to use it for my text objects as well. And I don't want it for just this design. I want it for every design. And I'm going to click OK. Now, let's say, I kept it at that color, but let's say I didn't want it that color. First, I would go here to my bucket, and I would look at my swatches, and I would change it to a different color. So maybe I want the inside to be pink, and I'm going to click here. And so now the insides, it will be pink. If that's what I want as my default color, I'm going to left click on the box, check here, and OK. And now when I create something, it's going to keep the red outline. But if I want to change the red outline, I can do the same here. I would want to select it first, click on the pencil, and make my change. Maybe I want the change to be olive green. Click there. So now I have an olive green outline, which is hard to tell. It's there, but there it is. I can click on the olive green, left click on it, use it for text, use it for every new design, and OK. So now when I come here and I create a shape, it has, as you can see from my used colors, it'll have the green olive there and the fill as the pink. My lettering will be the same way. When I come down here and I type, let me select that and make that bigger so you guys can see it. There we go. So it does have that. Now, if I want to make that outline wider, right over here, I can still put in, I do love to use my 2.5 mm instead of using the slider. The slider's great. I do like it. So you can see those are my pieces. And I have to fix that in there. So that would, maybe that'll fix if I select it and do break apart. There we go. And then I could work on fixing that inside part. Okay. So let me go back to the camera. And here we are. Hopefully that will help you with working with the color manager. Okay. It's right over there. I find it very handy, and especially the swatches. And some people, if you do have a color sheet, and maybe you have certain colors that you want to use. Maybe you've chosen certain colors first from your spools, and you want to input those into uh, there. Now you can have a design that has a marathon color, a Janome color, an OESD color. You can put all those numbers in and make it for your design, if that's what you want to use, if you want to do it that way. Or sometimes we line them up right in front of our piece. But there are some colors that I really like that I might use more often, and I could pull up those. Like I like the Janome red, so I might pull that up. Or I think in Robison Anton, there's a couple that I like for that. So I may pull that in and exchange it in my list of colors. When I choose my design and I'm changing the colors, I would put that color number in. Okay. All right, everyone. Have a great day. Hopefully this will help you. Let me know what you think and post it down below, and I'll come back and answer. Bye for now.